I call David Clendon.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And I would begin by supporting the words of our colleague who just resumed his seat, who covered some of the bases I would have otherwise mentioned. So I'll cut both to the chase. We understand this is to be a personal vote, but I can speak with complete confidence on behalf of myself and all of my colleagues when we say we'll be very happy to oppose this legislation, as we have opposed, by our count, 7 previous bills that have endeavoured to liberalise trading laws on Easter Sunday, and hopefully this one will have as little success. A number of reasons for that, not least of all that we're not a bit convinced that workers' rights will be protected. My colleague Denise Roche will say more of that a bit later. I would stress again, 361 and a half days of a year. It's pretty much open slather for stores to trade. Leap year, they get an extra day, 362 and a half. 3.5 days a year are reserved for family time, for non-trading time, to a large extent at least. We're talking about restricted days: Christmas Day, Good Friday, Easter Sunday, and Anzac Day morning until 1 p.m. The suggestion's been put that this is a very contained, a very localised proposition, particularly focusing on Wanaka. Well, I think, in answer to that, I'd say a slippery end, rather a thin end of the wedge argument. If we're going to allow Wanaka to trade on Sunday, how long before Dunedin puts its hand up, or Clutha, or indeed Christchurch, which will once again become a tourist mecca as it has been in the past, and we do sincerely hope will be in the future? I think it's useful to consider what is actually at stake here when we say there may be no shop trading, no opening on these 3.5 days of a year. It's interesting to look at the exemptions to that rule on the Department of Labour website, and it's instructive to just look at who may open on these restricted trading days. We've been offered a vision of Wanaka, tumbleweeds blowing down the main street, frustrated tourists with pockets full of money, unable to spend it. What nonsense. Start off with dairies, the good old-fashioned dairy, milk, papers, cat food, whatever it is you happen to need to get you through that day, the usual bits and pieces, the newspapers of the day, all of those things. Takeaways, cafes, restaurants may open on these days. Nobody will perish for want of food. They can sit in a place, eat, drink as you would on any other day of the year. Service stations are free to trade. We can fuel our cars. Again, service stations offer quite a range of food, magazines. You can buy a fan belt, a light bulb, whatever it might happen to be you need to buy on that day. Duty-free stores are allowed to open to service tourists if they choose to on any one of these days. Genuine tourists who are passing through on their way to an airport want to pick up their duty-free, they're very welcome to do so. Service providers may offer a service on these days, providing they're not selling product, so video rental stores can open. Your local hairdresser can choose to open. Your local chiropodist, your sports masseur can choose to offer a service on any one of these days. There is an abundant opportunities to spend your money if you so choose. The list goes on. Real estate agents, you can even buy a house on any one of these days. Garden centres may open on Sunday and of course on Saturday. They have a day off Friday. You shop at the garden centre a Saturday, Sunday, and you plant them at your home on Monday. That doesn't seem onerous to me. I've done it personally many times. Yeah. Any shops within a transport hub selling, again, food, drink, papers, magazines, the things that travellers want and need are readily available on any of these days. Shops within bona fide markets, craft markets, may open on these days. What do souvenir stores in Wanaka may sell pounamu, merino, leather products on any one of these days. They are genuine souvenirs. Give me a break when you tell me that there are people who cannot have an opportunity to spend their money in Wanaka on any one of these days. It is not the reality. Who is wanting these? It's the chain stores, the department stores, the supermarkets, the sites that employ large numbers of employees. Most of these these outlets who may open are owner-operated SMEs. If I own a store, as I did for a number of years, I have the choice as an owner-operator to open and provide goods or services to the public on most of these days.
Sorry to interrupt the honourable member. His time has expired. I call Dennis O'Rourke.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. New Zealand First MPs have discussed and will oppose